This episode is brought to you by Meow Wolf. School's back in, but you're a grown-up and no longer live in fear of homework. So why not wander the worlds on Wednesday, September 4th after 5 p.m. with drink in hand for the glorious return of Meow Wolf Denver's Adultiverse. This 21 and up event features the live finale of Denver's premier cocktail competition, Garnish Games, plus music trivia with special guests from Bananas Fest, and a lot more fun, only for the grownly. Dive into the Adultiverse by visiting meowwolf.com to get your tickets. That's meowwolf.com. Today on CityCast Denver, Biker Jim is back. Denver's most famous hot dog salesman is selling hot dogs once again. But you'll never guess where or what's on the menu for dessert. Me and producer Paul Caroli are talking about Jim Pettinger's next chapter, who won the latest bike lane battle on the north side, and how Denver responded when a wealthy suburban mayor went full Karen on a planned affordable housing development. Plus, we announced the lucky winner of our 900th episode VIP barbecue ticket giveaway. Today is Tuesday, August 20th. I'm Bree Davies, and here's what Denver's talking about. Hey, Paul.
Hey, good morning, Bree.
So, we have some important stories to follow up on, right?
Yeah, there's been some updates to things that we've talked about and I think people care about here in Denver.
That's what I love this Tuesday show for. Little odds and ends.
So shall we start there?
Yeah, let's just start there.
All right. Well, this first one is a story we talked about a few weeks ago. You remember on the north side, there was this whole brouhaha over the protected bike lane on 29th? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got a lot of comments about that.
Really?
Thank you for sharing, by the way, listeners. Appreciate that.
I'm so curious to hear what people think.
Yeah, well, I heard from one person in particular. I should pull this up, actually, who is just like a lifelong bike commuter who uses that stretch and was just like kind of grumpy about this whole, the business owners complaining about it.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the battle for every single time it comes up. It's like everybody who knows we want to get to this multimodal future where we drive cars less, but sometimes that means making specific compromises.
And we really don't want
that affect
to.
some people more than other people.
Yeah.
And anyway, a few business owners spoke out. They said, do not build this protected bike lane between Sheridan and Zunai, which was the plan. And now the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure has come back with a new plan, according to Business Den, where they will still build a protected bike lane on most of that stretch, but there will be a few blocks where there are businesses where they're not going to have any full-on like constructed protections, any like cement barriers or stanchions or whatever else you call those things.
Paul, you're a cyclist. I feel like it's so much about habit and understanding the road. And when there's a disruption in that infrastructure, then cars all of a sudden are like, I don't know where to drive. And then cyclists are like, I don't know where to be that's safer. Yeah. And I think it just like creates confusion. And I think that's a very unfortunate compromise.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where we settled, though, when we talked about it. They're talking about some kind of compromise. And I mean, I was talking to my wife about this. She's a biker like me, and she was pretty bummed about Dottie backing off this plan.
Yeah.
And I get that. I mean, if this is your route and you're a bike commuter, like this is the kind of thing can make a real big difference and ease your stress and keep you safe. And anyway, so we're going to have this weird compromise now. And instead of a protected bike lane, here's the key quote from Business Den.
Yeah.
Quote, the parts of the bike lane that remain unprotected will have a green carpet painted on them to increase visibility to drivers, business owners were told recently.
I mean, we know what those look like.
It's like Sharrows and stuff. It's like, it doesn't help that much.
I always see like tire tracks across those.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay.
Like, what happened here?
I just want to say where I've evolved on bike lanes.
Please do.
The thing that I've evolved on is when we make these changes, whether you're a cyclist or not, they tend to positively impact the pedestrian experience, I think, because it is A, generally, yes, slowing traffic down, and B, just creating more space for things other than cars. And I think that benefits everyone, whether you ride a bicycle or not. And that's why I've become more supportive of them, understanding that this may make a safer city for my kid. Because that's who I'm thinking about. It's like, I'm not going to get the benefits of this long-term project, but that's the whole point of large projects, is thinking about the future and who will be impacted. And I think it would be awesome if my kid got to experience a city that's more bike lane friendly because whether he rides a bike or not, it's safer for pedestrians.
Yeah. Well,
So,
anyway,
I don't know.
that's how that one resolved,
Yeah.
at least for now. We'll see. It could change.
Okay, well, let's move on over to beautiful Cherry Hills, Colorado. Is it its own municipality?
I think so. Its own
Yes.
municipality but not in Denver, though.
But it's adjoining to us. We are their problems are our problems.
I mean, I do not. I don't know if I agree with that. I think these people are so rich, they got their own
that's
problems.
the
I can't even
champagne
imagine.
problems to our
Yeah.
champagne of beers problems.
How
Okay.
do I keep my pool clean? How do I keep my herd of elk happy? I don't know. I don't know what these people do with their money. But yeah, so a few weeks ago, we talked about the mayor of Cherry Hills sending this letter and showing up to a Denver planning board meeting and basically saying like, hey, don't do this affordable housing plan near us.
Please don't.
We heard you talking about it. We don't like it.
Not in our area, but not near us. Please, just not near us.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, it's not even in Cherry Hills. It's technically in Denver. And just specifically, so the proposal was this, a rezoning from a company called Shea Properties. They wanted to rezone a little triangle of land just off I-25 and convert an underutilized office building, this is in the tech center, to 143 units of affordable housing.
Awesome.
A darling project. Who could not get behind a project like that in this economy?
We're converting a building that already exists, so we're adaptively reusing, and we're creating affordable housing in a community that definitely does not have enough.
Yeah, beautiful. But the mayor of Cherry Hills was like, we have very serious concerns that you're stranding low-income families on an island between I-25, a 4-lane arterial with no access to medical care, no access to grocery stores, and no access to transit, blah, 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 blah.
Okay, but can we
Yeah,
just...
that was back then.
But
Yeah.
this quote is like, I can't believe someone would put this on paper themselves and not look at the reflection that what it is reflecting about their leadership and previous leadership of the area they live in, which is we don't create things for people.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're extremely wealthy.
If you're extremely wealthy and you don't have to ever get out of your car, great. Otherwise,
You know what I just realized?
what?
This is one of those rich people problems. This affordable housing development. This is one of their problems. That's how it must appear to them.
They're like, you know what we got coming in? Affordable housing.
Yeah.
You know what we don't need? Affordable housing.
It's going to be all these people living in these affordable housing units.
All these
causing
people
trouble for
that
us.
have jobs like they're probably teachers or, janitors or all kinds of, all the kinds of jobs we need to make a city run. Yes.
So city council voted on this rezoning last Monday and unanimous.
Wow.
13-0. It's happening.
Oh my gosh.
So they said no to the mayor of Cherry Hills,
Yeah,
no
sorry,
to
not
all
sorry.
the wealthy south suburbs interests, and no thank you. Keep your NIMBY BS to yourselves.
I love this note, though, from Councilmember Diana Romero Campbell. This is her side of town, too, for sure. She said the property had been vacant for 6 years.
Yeah.
We have a property sitting vacant. It already exists. Just, that's great. You know what I do? This is the kind of story though that I like to hear because we talk about city council so often and how they are, they don't agree on so many things. And this is a really interesting 13-0.
Here's
That
where they
says
agree.
priorities. Yeah.
Affordable housing, converting office buildings.
Yeah.
I mean, these are things. And pushing back against rich people. Hell yeah.
I love it. This episode is brought to you by Wana Brands. Wana Optimals are a line of plant-powered gummies from Wana Brands, Colorado's #1 cannabis edibles brand. These are not your traditional cannabis gummy because they're not just about getting you high. They're meant to provide specific wellness effects. Some of them are even non-intoxicating. The Optimals line includes 2 cannabis-powered non-groggy sleep aids, Fast Asleep and Stay Asleep gummies. I'd love to take one of those and just lay on the couch and watch Love Island and not think about anything because I still don't know who wins. I'm 6 episodes from the end. Looking just to chill out? The Optimals line also includes stress and pain relief formulations. Then there's the brand new Quick Lift formulation, a delicious clementine shine flavored gummy calibrated to deliver a mood-lifting euphoric high that can help you feel more tuned into your surroundings. To learn more or find a dispensary near you, visit wanabrands.com/optimals. That's Wana with 1 N, WANA, and Optimals with an S. wanabrands.com/optimals. This episode is brought to you by Pine Melon, the farmer's market delivered. Missed the farmer's market this weekend? Don't fret. Pine Melon has got you covered, delivering Colorado's freshest local produce straight to your doorstep. Pine Melon is a next-generation grocery delivery app that partners with over 200 local farmers, ranchers, and producers in Colorado. With a mission to transform Denver's food system, empower local makers, and promote community well-being, they make supporting local both easy and rewarding. Enjoy high-quality meats, eggs, and dairy from small local farms, as well as a wide variety of pantry staples, all delivered straight to you. The best part? Pine Melon offers same-day delivery to Denver and Boulder within a 2-hour window. No subscription necessary. Support local today and use promo code CityCastDenver for $75 off your first delivery at pinemelon.com. Enjoy the best of the farmers market, even when you can't make it there yourself.
All right, so that's the updates. And now our big story for today, which is also kind of an update, more like the latest chapter in an ongoing saga of one of Denver's culinary icons. Biker Jim is back, Brie.
Biker Jim Pettinger is back, baby. If you've been missing his classic good quality hot dog from Biker Jim's, he's got a new spot opening in Milk Market, which is this fancy food court downtown. And this place is called Bikers and Bakers. And I say, if you've been missing that classic hot dog.
What's the latest? What's the background for folks who haven't been following this so closely?
So Biker Jim is a gentleman who started out he started a hot dog cart in 2005 downtown around Coors Field selling hot dogs. He caught the attention of Anthony Bourdain in 2009. This was a big moment for him and honestly for Colorado because Anthony Bourdain did not really give us much love beyond Biker Jim.
No, I mean, he famously talked mad stuff about Denver. And then at a speaking engagement, I will not forget this. I think it was in Westward, but apparently he came to Denver. He was filming a show. And then as the climax of his show, he was like, people of Denver, I am so sorry. I have been to the mountaintop and I'm here to say you all have great food. And he pulled open his dress shirt and it was a Biker Jim's t-shirt underneath. Love that guy. I love Anthony Bourdain. I am sad that we didn't get to show him the other aspects of what makes our city so great. But he would have liked green chili.
He would have loved green chili. I just don't think he was introduced to him
I
right.
think so too.
You know, but Biker Jim's great hot dogs. But so over the pandemic, like many restaurants, Biker Jim's was struggling. He decided to sort of go into business with a friend of his on the financial end of it and basically sold the majority of it to someone else, this other gentleman. And I think ever since then, things were not great. I have to say from a customer perspective, the last time we went to Biker Jim's, the quality was not.
My God.
It was weird,
right?
It was
it was troubling. It was kind of chilling. I mean, I've loved Biker Jim's. They have a great
this is a staff favorite
dog.
For us.
Yeah, great toppings. And Biker Jim, such a fun dude. Cool guy, good to talk to.
Knows his hot dogs. That's the other thing. We did that great
dogs.
tour
Loves
with him.
But yeah, $34 for a dog and fries, and it was just terrible.
And it was kind of garbage.
It was just a hot dog with a stripe of mayo and a few onions on it. It was this sucks.
So
what happened to Biker Jim?
Right, and we were wondering what happened to Biker Jim. And then in June of this year, this lawsuit popped up against Biker Jim's for unpaid fees at Ball Arena. From Kroenke Sports and Entertainment said, hey, Biker Jim's, you owe us over $800,000.
Crazy.
For having an outpost at Ball Arena and not paying your dues. Turns out the guy that bought the majority stake in Biker Jim's was not paying.
Just straight up not doing it.
Had never paid a single dollar to Kroenke. So that was sort of I think that was sort of the tip of the iceberg, or at least the first revelations that we realized, we weren't just having a bad experience at Biker Jim's. Something had changed at Biker Jim's.
Yeah. New leadership, someone, You know, my favorite part of that story about the Kroenke deal was that he wasn't actually allowed to sell hot dogs.
What?
Because there was an exclusivity deal on another vendor who already sold hot dogs at Ball Arena. So Biker Jim was selling pit beef sandwiches.
Oh.
Isn't that crazy?
That is weird.
Although I don't even know if he ever sold any pit beef sandwiches. I don't know if they even opened.
I was going to say, I'd been to Ball Arena a few times. I don't even know if I saw it.
Yeah.
That's
just bizarre. It's that's a terrible deal. That's your bread and butter right there. You can't be Biker Jim's and not sell hot dogs.
That's the reason we go to Biker Jim's.
Yeah.
So in July, Biker Jim walked away from Biker Jim's. And there was this really sad moment. Jonathan Shikes at the Denver Post previous guest on the show, shared that Biker Jim sort of walked in and was like, I felt like he described it as something funny, like it's like a Western. It looks like something from the outside, but then once you get on the inside, it's all fake. And he walked away. And I have to say, so the cool part of this story is Biker Jim's hot dogs are coming back, the ones that we loved. So at Milk Market, they'll be serving a variety of signature hot dogs, according to the Denver Post, Thursday through Saturday, which include things like the El Jalapeno cheddar sausage, wild boar sausage, my favorite, bacon cheddar brat, and then his classic toppings, cream cheese, caramelized onions. So all the things that you went to Biker Jim's for, you can most likely get the majority of those at Bikers and Bakers. The Bakers aspect.
Yes, tell me about that. That's interesting. That's new for him.
Yeah, so when Peyton and Olivia and I did this tour with Biker Jim, he was kind of talking
about...
That's
our producer and our newsletter editor, Peyton and Olivia.
Yes.
Go on.
Yeah, he kind of talked about stepping into this world of baking. He was kind of curious. He was doing some fun stuff behind the scenes. And I think this is what he's actually getting to try out now. So he'll have his regular hot dogs during Thursday through Sunday. And then on Saturday mornings, he's going to be making lemon ricotta pancakes, sour cream waffles, and other breakfast items.
Interesting.
I know.
I do kind of trust him with baked goods. Something about that feels right in a way I can't explain.
He's good with flavor profiles to me. He knows how to make a good flavor profile, so maybe this extends to baking. I personally, so excited.
Yeah?
Yeah, I loved Biker Jim's, and I think I even loved it even more after we did this fun tour with him of hot dogs for a day, and I got to know him a little bit, and he's just a good time guy that loves to make good food for people. And we had a great time. So, so it's going to be in Milk Market, which is just like a fancy food court.
Yeah, how do you feel about that part of it? Because that doesn't feel like quite a great fit for a guy that started out on a hot dog cart on a street.
I mean, I would see it as just an evolution, right? This is a place that has a built-in clientele, that has maybe the build-out. Restaurant build-outs we know are very expensive. And maybe this was just an easy way for him to set up shop and not have to do a lot of that overhead that already exists within the Milk Market, which is a bunch of different stalls for different food concepts. So, I mean, to me, also, this is not that far from our office when we're at 5280, so I'm super stoked.
I could see us going there.
I think we will.
For sure.
But I don't know. How do you feel about the Milk Market part? Because I have to say, I don't have a ton of feelings about that part.
I think it's interesting. I think Milk Market itself is kind of entering a new phase, and like maybe Biker Jim's going to be a big part of it. But like they weren't like, Aviano or other food halls, like you think of them as incubators because like these
like
restaurant
Avanti?
concepts. Yeah, that's what I mean. Avanti, not Aviano. That you can get short-term leases and try out a concept, see if it works, and then maybe go into a brick and mortar. But that's not what Milk Market was. Milk Market was like wholly owned by Frank Bonanno and the Bonanno Restaurant Concepts group. And so everything in there was a Bonanno idea. And it was all one company. It wasn't like they were subleasing to like aspiring restaurateurs or like incubating new ideas. Now, however, it sounded like it was not doing well. I know there's been lots of reporting on this. We'll link to something in the show notes. Under Bonanno during the pandemic, they had like their sales dropped like crazy, as you'd expect.
Yeah.
And then never really recovered because of the way downtown is right now.
I was just going to say, we know what downtown looks like.
Yeah. And so what Bonanno did is he sold out his stake to his former partners, Sage Hospitality, which is it's like a hotel company. They run Union Station. They just ran that remodel. And so Sage, what they're doing is they brought in Biker Jim, but they've also brought in a few other concepts. And it seems like they might be converting into more of that incubator kind of model for the Milk Market.
I like that. I think that might bring a different, just like a diversity of food and approach.
I think that's what it could really use. Because it was very like clean and smooth. Like all the ideas were kind of like the same kind of samey. Because they were all Bonanno's ideas. I mean, love Bonanno, but like at a place like that, you want a little more diversity. I think you're right.
I think that's what you're expecting too when you go to a food hall. Like I'm thinking about Edgewater Market or Stanley Market. They are clearly very obviously run by different organizations, families, and companies. And you're getting something different.
Here's my question about this.
Yeah.
So Milk Market right next to the Dairy Block, which is, famously the #1 Instagram destination for influencers and aspiring influencers alike.
This is why I know nothing about it. Okay.
Yeah. Is Biker Jim about to enter his Instagram era? Are we going to see him popping up all over the place?
It's funny you bring that up because if you look at Biker Jim's press photos and stuff, whoever is doing his creative is genius.
Well, really?
I think so. His photos always make him look cool in a way that's like accessible to someone who's not a biker. Like he's like, I grew up with two really cool uncles, and he's like got the cool uncle vibe, like shows you cool stuff or likes good music, or in this case, likes good food and has a hilarious story for everything. And they've figured out how to capture that in their press photos for Biker Jim. And I think that's partially why he transcends a very specific target market and can appeal to more people. And if that means he's going to be showing up in more Instagram influencer reels, I'm all about it.
I think it could be fun. I mean, I wonder if he'll try to like appeal to that audience too. Because that's
in
you're
the
right
space
there.
that he's in, he might be doing that very thing. Also,
Dress up that rattlesnake a little.
Well, or the ricotta pancakes.
There you go.
Those might be very Instagrammable.
They could be
photos of. So, I don't know. All around, I'm excited to see what Biker Jim does, and I'm always cheering. I'm in his corner.
Me too. I
think it'll be cool.
Whoa. Landing an account this big will totally change my landscaping business. It's gonna mean hiring more guys and more equipment and new trucks for the new guys to drive the new equipment in. I don't know if I'm ready.
You can do this, and Ford Pro FinSimple can help. Our experts are ready to make growing pains less painful for your business with flexible financing solutions that meet the needs of your business today when you need them. Get started at fordpro.com/financing.
Think you know the Brooks Ghost? Think again. Introducing the all-new, better-than-ever Ghost 16. Now with nitrogen-infused cushioning for lightweight, supreme softness that feels good every step, every street, every single day. So go ahead, take your daily joyride in the all-new nitrogen-infused Ghost 16. It'll turn your everyday miles into everyday endorphins. Let's run there. Head to brooksrunning.com to learn more.
All right, well, before we go, we always love to hear from you, our brilliant and hilarious listeners, about the things that you care about. And honestly, that's what makes this show, Tuesday shows in particular, so fun to me, is you get to respond to us, and then we get to talk about what you've thought. So, Paul, what's come through the CityCast Denver hotline lately?
Here's our first voicemail.
Hi, my name is Joe. In the Highlands neighborhood. I was calling just in response to some of the talk about minimum wage and how it's affecting restaurants. I run a coffee shop. And philosophically, I am all for raising the minimum wage and taking care of my workers. But I will say it's a hardship that I think got a little underplayed on the show. Just in that, if you just look in the last 6 years, minimum wage has nearly doubled. And so that is not easy to do. And running a coffee shop, it's actually a bigger impact when minimum wage goes up than if the price of coffee went up. So it's pretty significant, and I agree with minimum wage going up. So it's just one of those complicated things. So just throwing out there a little context, but love the show. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Wow. Thank you so much for calling in, Joe, giving us some perspective as a business owner.
I love this, too, because I have to say, Joe, when we read that piece from Tamara Chang and Colorado Sun, the focus was kind of on higher end restaurateurs, right? And so in my mind, this is who I'm thinking about when I'm thinking about who's paying that minimum wage. And Joe, I think, makes a great point, which is there's these other mom and pops, smaller shops. Also, just like price point issue. Like he said, price of coffee goes up. You can only raise your coffee prices so much. I think Starbucks is a great example of struggling with hitting a ceiling on this. So I definitely appreciate thinking about the numbers from someone who's looking at a kind of a different economy here as a coffee shop owner versus a high-end Michelin star restaurant or something.
Yeah, I agree. I do. I hadn't thought about that either. I want to tell you a story about something I, did over the weekend.
Yeah.
So you remember last week, so we were talking about value all week, like restaurants, cheapness, expensiveness, like, is it a problem? Are restaurants dying? Blah, blah, blah. And there was this Denver Post article we didn't actually get to talk about this guy who makes sandwiches, Little Arthur's sandwiches.
Oh, yeah.
And he's starting pizza. Because he had the most like fire quote in the Denver Post. It was like, let me pull it up. He said,
we thought about it a lot. It really stuck. It was a quote that stuck.
It drove me wild. Where was it? He said, Our pizza will be the most expensive in town, most likely. So please, if you can't handle things that cost more than the norm, just go to Reddit and talk stuff now and save your time. Whatever you need to do, hun.
I gotta say, that was like shots fired directly at Reddit comments, which I love.
Yeah, it was great. That's so good. I mean, I love a troll personally. So anyway, I was thinking about this guy, like his take on the value conversation is like, I'll deliver it, but it also is going to cost you. And sometimes that's okay. Sometimes it's nice. So I sent this article to a friend, and we were like, let's go see if he's got the goods. See if this pizza's so great. So we went there on Friday, slammed. He's cooking out of this distillery on 7th Avenue on the strip with Vespers, the old Bonanno strip.
Oh yeah, I love that little corner.
What's it called? Out of the Barrel Tap Room, which is a nice space, packed on a Friday night. So obviously this didn't hurt him.
No.
But he told me it did bother him all week because apparently the Denver Post never talked to him. They just quoted an Instagram post from him.
I have to say I would be frustrated too, because audiences are very different, right? When you're talking to a reporter versus when you're talking to your Instagram following, you might have a different tone, and tone is really hard to infer when you're reading something. You know what I mean? Versus him saying it probably in his reel or however he delivered it. But that changes the context.
I thought so too. And I was like, well, I told him I loved your quote. I thought it was fire. And he was like, I've been dealing with bullies all week. Oh. He's been getting review bombed. Look at little Arthur's on the Google reviews or Yelp right now. He's getting
that people can
dragged.
Do this. It's so frustrating to me because we know that it happens, and yet we don't always take that into account when we go to look at a restaurant. We see the review number, 3 stars or whatever, and we don't think, oh, maybe this person got review bombed, which actually happened to a business recently that I'm very close to, that I sort of helped try to push back the other direction because it's really hard. Yeah. So he's dealing with that, but he's actually really busy.
He was
There's
really
a lot
busy.
of stress on both sides.
I know. It's just like a weird situation for this guy last week. But I personally, I was on the side of, I liked his attitude. I thought that was fun. And his food was really, really good. The pizza was great. I think it was worth $40.
He knows what he's doing.
Really appreciate you calling in, Joe.
It's complicated.
All right. I think we got time for one more thing, which is announcing the winner of our QBBQ Fest ticket giveaway.
Yes.
These tickets are going to the new or existing member of CityCast Denver who sent us the best story about how we made them feel connected to Denver over the course of our first 900 episodes and similar amount of newsletter issues.
So much.
So this Barbecue Fest is actually this weekend. Seems like it's going to be a really fun time. And we're delighted to give these tickets away to Bree. Do you want to do the honors here?
Mike Frey.
Congratulations, Mike.
Shared a really great story. So we asked folks to share how we can keep you connected to the city. So Mike says, CityCast Denver keeps me connected to home. When I moved to Lisbon in late 2021, we were still following COVID protocols. Having just spent 2 years in social isolation and now living in a different country for the first time, I was looking for things that would keep me connected to home. CityCast did that and, in a way, addressed not only my interest in politics, local and national news, but also activities that people in Denver enjoyed. I read the newsletter every morning, which was the previous days. Because of time difference.
That's funny.
And always watched out for the Fridays Where Is It photo in the afternoon. I would occasionally listen to the podcast where there's something that especially interested me, and I really liked the condensed format of the newsletter and the podcast. Now I'm back in Denver and really enjoy reading the newsletter every morning. But now as a local who can enjoy fun things in Denver, it's in a more than just a vicarious way.
What a great story.
I love this story.
Yeah. I mean, extra points for, moving halfway across the world and still
caring.
Caring about Denver stuff. That's really cool.
Well, congrats, Mike. Enjoy the Q Barbecue Fest. And thanks for being an avid reader and listener.
Well, Bree.
This was great. Thanks, Paul.
See you next time.
That's all for today here on CityCast Denver. If you enjoyed this show, why don't you take a minute to tell Cherry Hills Village Mayor Katie Brown about us? Rate the show wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe to our morning newsletter and learn more about us at denver.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. See you later.
Let me hit you with a voicemail from Jenny, from Josh.
Hi, my name is Joe. In the Highlands
Let me
neighborhood.
hit you with a voicemail.
Jill, Josh, Jenny, Joe, somebody, anyone. Literally anybody's name with a J.